Welcome to this edition of India Means Innovation, where we discuss the technologically complex innovations coming out of India. Today, we have with us Adarsh Holavanahalli, who heads a startup focused on coronary artery diseases within Philips. Philips is a globally recognized leader. Welcome, Adarsh.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Adarsh, hundreds of millions of people across the world, and many of them youngsters, are suffering from heart problems. And many of these people are not even aware that it is their heart that is at risk, correct?
That's the tragedy of this problem. See, people, when they have emergencies, that's when they go to the healthcare system. And by that time, it's too late. Two things could have happened. You got there just in time. So maybe they were able to do a procedure of some kind and save any damage, or some damage could already have occurred. And so hence you have to live in a compromised way from that point onwards. The problem is people are not aware of how slowly the progression happens and what takes these progressions to happen on a regular scale.
Adarsh, people are often reluctant or lazy to go to a hospital to get themselves checked, especially if there is no overt discomfort or a problem. Now, Philips has come out with this wonderful innovation called HeartPrint that allows a user to find out about the current health of their heart without going to a hospital or without going through a clinical intervention. Can you talk about that?
So we actually ask the user to put his finger on the smartphone camera, and the camera actually takes a video of the blood pulsing through your peripheral vasculature, which is your fingertip. But the advantage is from that we can get heart rate, respiratory rate, heart rate variability, oxygen saturation, blood pressure. And the idea is that these vitals and the pulsing that we see start showing us behavior of the heart. And for us, the behavior is both mental and physical.
But my individual heart, do you compare it with the million others that you have scanned and you're using AI/ML there?
Each of these are unique signatures, right? And to make sense out of imprecise data, you have to make it precise by comparing it to millions of signatures out there. So we do that and we figure out whether this signature belongs to you or not. And these signatures could be instant readings or longitudinal readings over a period of time. So our whole science is based upon the fact that you can take imprecise information, which is from these kinds of sensors, and make them precise over a period of time by comparing them to what you already have in the cloud.
So by reading the video and comparing it with millions of others, you get an idea of the heart quality.
The quality of the heart today depends upon a very important interpretation of heart behavior, which we call heart strength. Heart strength is composed of heart energy and heart efficiency. Energy is a fitness marker for the heart muscle. So when you want to be highly enduring, your fitness is very high. And when you have extreme stress, then the efficiency of the heart goes down. So using these two parameters, we are able to track heart well-being. And heart well-being, as I said, is affected by a whole lot of parameters that you can find. And based on this, we are able to now project an early warning cardiac profile that we have built out of all of this, purely on the smartphone, no dependence on devices. But we want you to avoid emergencies, and hence we tell you things that we can see from a long way off, right? It may be 6 months away or a year away, but we tell you that your heart is not doing as well as it should. So make micro interventions to fix it. That's the goal of the project.
So this is the first level, the heart energy and heart efficiency. And based on your reading, you give your suggestions to the user, whether the person needs to go to the hospital or not, see a doctor or not, any change in the lifestyle, etc. Now, do you also do resting heart profile and active heart profile?
Yes, so it's an important point. So when we look at you superficially with these two parameters for some time, and if you're not satisfied, then we want you to do an assessment. And we have different assessments built. A resting heart assessment is that does something called a comprehensive assessment of your heart, and that produces a report which can actually put you in front of a cardiologist if needed. That is one half of this. The resting heart, by the way, is a great indicator of what is going on long term in the body. If you have a short term problem, like you're carrying too much of burden, so when they put you on a treadmill, you have a problem at that point of time, then the reactive heart makes you actually do a walk test 2 kilometers on your smartphone, on a road or anywhere else, and we can actually figure out whether your body is rising up to meet the demand properly and rising back down when demand is no longer needed, recovery of it, right? Based on that, we can tell you whether you need an intervention. So there are multiple assessments that do it, and these are two of them.
Do you need any other input from the user? Lifestyle input, how much of exercise she does, or what kind of food do they prefer?
Absolutely. Any clinical assessment like this one means that we need to take your clinical characterization, we need to profile you, what medical history do you have, what current conditions do you have, what's your genetic history, what's your exercise profile, diet profile, and all of that has to be done. But we only do that when we do an assessment and not otherwise, right? Because it's pretty heavy duty. You need to lead people in slowly to that point where a clinical characterization is needed, and all of these are needed to create a case sheet and put in front of a clinician.
What you're really doing is an early warning signal, right? An early warning signal by the use of just your mobile phone, no effort required on your part, but you get the flashing red lights or the orange light or the green light. You know.
We ask everybody to do a single scan to start with.
Sure.
Right? And then we find that almost 75% need to do what is called a heart quality index. A heart quality index is 3 scans in 48 hours, which essentially tests your heart across stability, balance, volatility, and so on. And that, from that 70% of the people, we realize that around 30% of them will have to do an assessment, which is why I told you that people are just not aware of what is going on. And based on the assessment, we see around 7 or 6% need to be monitored, and 2 or 3% need to be referred. That's how the progression goes. But nowadays we are seeing very disturbing data. We are seeing that 18 to 30-year-olds are in poorer health than 50 to 60-year-olds. And I think as we keep going forward, we'll see these numbers start to shoot up. But what this does is, if used regularly, it will start giving you the awareness of which way you're headed and when to take that necessary stop and fix it. And that will definitely avoid emergencies. Make this whole change of moving from emergencies to electives, electives to lifestyle change, medical management, and medical management to lifestyle changes. Can we focus on that?
And here you have a very interesting approach to the market. You are not advertising, you're not selling this straight to the consumers. You are going through the route of employers, companies who have an interest in the health of their employees, as well as through the insurance companies. So you are working with the entire health ecosystem.
So what we have built is a universal platform where we can combine consumers, corporates, insurers, pharma, providers, which is both clinical and well-being, and even public health and service aggregators. All of these can be brought together. And why is that important? Because health is not a one provider game. So you need a platform that essentially says, hey, if you're a consumer, transitions you through these different health states that you go through, and eventually escalates you to a provider when you need. And when you're back, it actually follows up with you and makes sure that you're okay and that you're headed in the right direction. From a corporate purpose, I can help you plan health initiatives. If you understand your population, then you know whether to do a screening camp or not, whether you need to spend mental health issues or not, because we are a behavioral cardiology program. For insurers, I can help you reduce the number of claims that you have on your portfolio. For service aggregators, I can give you bundled value-added services on top of existing clinical services that you have, and so on. So this platform was built to cater to everybody who could impact your health.
This entire thing has been conceptualized, designed, architected, built by your team here in India, right?
I'm very proud of our team. So we are a made in India, made for India program, the very first in Philips. We have a 40-member team here that sits here, and we did all the initial research, clinical research, in fact a whole bunch of clinical trials that we are working on. All of it is completely done out of India.
And what stops this product from going global? Because heart problems are the same everywhere.
So we started as a make in India because I think the problem here is very big, very emergent, and you can see people things happening to people a whole lot. It doesn't stop us from going outside. In fact, India, I think if you can crack the problem in India, you can crack the problem anywhere. Because once you get to the transactional nature of things, And once you convert a continuum into many episodic transactions, you have solved it for the world.
It's like if you can drive in India, you can drive anywhere. Thank you so much, Adarsh. This is a wonderful example of India means innovation.
It's a pleasure being here. Thank you so much, Harry.